want to let you know that you are at the right place at the 21 Essential Bots to fast track your business success by adopting RPA. My name is Kendall Matthews, head of product marketing for ElectroNeek. And I have here today with me Aaron McCullough. He's a sales engineer for North America. Now, Aaron, what do you do for MSPs and IT service providers wanting to know more about ElectroNeek?
Absolutely, yeah. So part of my role is kind of introducing the platform to those MSPs and IT service providers and kind of guide them and show them the kind of the true potential of what you can do with the ElectroNeek platform.
Wonderful. Now, folks, you're at the right place. So this 21 Essential Bots, you're going to understand something that from the research, from the things that we found and we've put together for you today. Now, right now, you're going to learn about the tasks most businesses want to automate. You're going to discover the 11 essential bots to boost your internal operations, and you're going to identify the 10 most sellable bots for your clients that you can use today. Now, but first, before I get into that, I have a favor to ask, okay? And it's just three things. So I want you to keep watching till the end since I have a special offer for you. Number two is I want you to add your questions in the comment section at any time. We will have a Q&A session. And then if there's a bot that you hear, that we talk about today, I want you to type in the comment section, I like that bot. So what I was going to and presenting the 11 most powerful internal use case bots. And we have some great information here for you. And it's according to basic research that we found, according to sales engineers and leaders. And that's what this chart is showing you. So, and that's why we created this for you. So this is the 11, we're going to get into that right now, the 11 most powerful use cases. And number one we're going to talk about is our digital document processing. That's what we found. Now, here's the question for you. Did you know that you can automate the extraction and structure data from standard documents? Well, folks, I have something to tell you. We have something to show you right now. So let's go ahead and show that to everyone, Aaron.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, in terms of document processing, extracting text from a document is fairly straightforward. It's pretty easy. The challenges come when you're extracting text from multiple documents that are structured differently. So they may have the same data, but it's in different places. So that can always be a bit of a challenge. So with the help of an IDP or an intelligent document processing API, an ElectroNeek bot can read and extract the important information without needing to include complex processing of the data. So as Kendall mentioned, we do have a demo here, so I'm going to showcase that here now. So I'm going to take you to our recipes. Now, recipes are a collection of different bots that we've built. Includes a number of different tutorials and touch bases on different use cases. We're going to go into the digital document processing here, and it's going to show you kind of how to build a workflow, a step-by-step guide of this particular bot. Now, the one I'm going to show you now is kind of a running of this particular bot. It uses the NanoNets OCR to extract data from some passport documents that have been sent over email. Now, these documents contain the similar information such as name, address, location, that sort of thing, but it's going to be, since every country is a little bit different, it's going to be in a different place. So it's going to be able to extract that information and then enter it into an online form. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the bot in action. So we've got our bot run video here. I'm just going to start it off. And as I said before, it's going to kind of start with the reading of the email. So it has some file attachments there. So we're going to be able to run the bot, and the bot's going to read those email attachments. First thing we need to do is provide it with the model ID. That's part of the NanoNets OCR. And then it's going to go ahead and read those emails. Now, as you can see in the bottom kind of right-hand corner here, we have a status indicator. So this gives you a step-by-step as to what's happening in this current step. Right now, it's the NanoNets OCR is being read. So it's now going through that process of extracting that data. And then once it's extracted that data, then we're going to kind of input that data into another an online form. So it's going to go ahead and open up the URL directly to the form. and quickly input it all in there. So it's all hands-free, easy to use. No, don't need to any kind of do any sort of special. It's kind of what we call the magic, I guess. So now it's going to go through again and read that other document, and then put that information in the form again. There we have it. So it ends up with the kind of a user notification there indicating that the bot has finished running, and they can go ahead and check out the results through their email. So that's the kind of the bot run sample for the digital document processing.
One of the next things we're talking about is the automated invoice payment. And what that opportunity is do you want to pay invoices and receive by email automatically? Folks, we have something for you. Of course, in these 11 bots are something that's very special. And we're going to show you that process right now.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, this is automated invoice payment. This is a great use case for automation. So often the process of paying an invoice follows the same set of steps and doesn't require much intervention. So having an ElectroNeek bot take over the process of reading the invoice, extracting the data, and making the payment can help free up resources and help eliminate any human errors. So as we showed before, we're going to have a quick demo kind of showing from our recipes here. So as I said, we've got a recipe for it. So here with this particular one, we're going to, again, kind of show you the step-by-step part of kind of building up this particular bot in this use case. The one we have as part of our recipes will extract invoice data from an email. It will then record this information in a spreadsheet and then input the data into a site called mercury.com that has a demo site to simulate the payment. Then an email confirmation will be sent out, and the confirmation saying, or an email confirmation will be sent out saying the payment has been made. So let's go ahead and check out this video here, and we can kind of see it run live here. So again, when the bot is run, you have this indicator at the bottom corner here. You can move it anywhere you want, of course, but it kind of gives you an indication as to what's happening. So it's already read the emails. It's then extracted that information using an OCR. And then now we're at the point where we extracted that information. We're going to the mercury.com demo site here, and we're inputting all that information that we've extracted from the invoice itself. So it's going through step by step. Again, this is hands-free. I like to say no hands sort of thing. So it's definitely running through the process here and inputting all the information that we've gotten from the invoice. So we've got the payment, and it's going through the different review steps. And as you can see in the kind of status indicator, it's clicking on different elements, inputting information to the browser. We're now at the point that payment's been sent. So now we can then go into update our Excel file and then send out an email indicating that the payment has been received. So that concludes kind of the demo for this particular bot.
Wonderful. Now, reporting automation is very important, of course, as we know, and it's very important because you need to combine several reports into one. And what we found is that this is one of the top business use cases that individuals are looking for. These companies, these small and medium businesses are looking for. But folks, I want you to put in the comment section right now, we have a recipe for that as well. So go ahead and so Aaron, show us that recipe as well.
Absolutely, yeah, we have a recipe. And again, this is another great use case for automation. So an ElectroNeek bot can gather the data from multiple sources, containing multiple sources, and then apply kind of rule-based analysis on the data to produce a single report. This can be scheduled to run hourly, daily, weekly, even after regular business hours. So as Kendall mentioned, we've got a recipe for that. So let's go ahead and take a look. So this particular recipe, we'll kind of dive into here. So this particular bot in a recipe is going to gather reports from HubSpot and Zendesk. So it's again, the report from HubSpot contains customer data, and while the report from Zendesk contains a list of support tickets that have been created by those customers. It'll then do some analysis, and combine the data into one report. And it'll then show, essentially showing the number of tickets opened for each customer. And then it'll be sent out via email. So let's go ahead and take a look at how the bot runs for this one. So again, we're starting the bot running through the bot runner. It's going to open up the URL, input the login credentials for HubSpot. So it's the bot again is doing this process here. Going through step by step. It's now going to go directly to the report list here and then download that report. And then once it's extracted that report in the format that we're looking for, so that again, the bot's kind of doing all this work, we've told it we wanted to kind of choose the Excel format. So let's go ahead and do that. It's now waiting until the report is ready. So that's another great thing about these bots is that you can wait until something appears or the download is ready to go. And then once it's downloaded and indicated that it's ready, it's now able to download it. And so now we're at the Zendesk part. So again, we're going to input and then make sure we're downloading the report in the file format that we want. So again, this is the bot completely doing all the work here. And again, now it's waiting for the report to be finished downloading. So depending on the size of the data, this can take anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes. So we've got it downloaded there. Now it's going through the process of doing the analysis. It's piecing together those two reports together to combine into one single report. So this is kind of happening in the background. There's not a lot of visual aspect to this, but it's kind of working through there. If we go ahead and skip ahead, we can kind of see the results here. All right, so once the report's done, we're going to go ahead and view the resulting attachment here. So it was sent via an email, and then we're showing kind of the combined report here of list of contacts and customers, as well as the number of tickets that they've created. So that's the end of this this demo. So let's go ahead and we can move on to the next one.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Aaron. Now, this is a really great business use case for sales. So, and the question is, do you want a bot that will build a prospect list from multiple online sources? Now, bots built on the ElectroNeek platform open browsers and perform searches in multiple prospecting tools based on criteria specific to the users. Now, guess what I'm going to say? We have a recipe for that. So type in the comment section if you like these recipes that we're going through so far, these 11 essential bots. So type in recipes if you like what we're showing you today. And Aaron, go ahead and show us this bot for target account list.
Definitely, absolutely. So yeah, how great would it be to start each Monday morning off with a fresh account list that you haven't had to do any work to compile. So an ElectroNeek bot can make this happen. So utilizing web scraping to gather the data, put it into a single file, and then email it out on a set schedule. So as Kendall mentioned, we've got a recipe for that. So let's go ahead and check that out. So this is part of our sales enablement use case here. So for this particular sample bot, so we bought it as part of our recipes, it's going to perform a search in the LinkedIn Sales Navigator, as well as the Get Prospect to find contact information for selected roles, and then send an email with the table of that data for a user for further communication. So let's go ahead and view that, that bot run. So as you can see here, we've got an Excel spreadsheet that is going to then populate with the data that it's extracted from the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So again, we're going through that. The bot is entering the information that we've told it to look for, and then it's going to be able to scrape that data from those search results. And then it's going to take that and then also go into the Get Prospect, and then using the same information that we've extracted, go through bit by bit and get more information, such as their job title, email, and whatnot. So it's going to go ahead and do this for a number of different users. I'm just going to skip ahead here to near the end here, so we can kind of get a sense as to the next step here. So once it's gone through the list of different information, we're then prompted with an input text to say, hey, where do you want this email or this information sent to? Be able to enter that information here, and then the bot's going to go ahead and send that email right away. Now we're prompted with the end, so saying that the bot has finished successfully, the email message has been created and sent. And then we'll be able to check out that attachment that contains all the information with those leads. So there we have it. So that's that concludes this bot sample as well.
Wonderful, thank you. Now, the opportunity is this. If you want to save hours of work and automate user creation in HubSpot completely, we have a recipe for that. And what's great about this is that the bots built on the ElectroNeek platform replicate admin and user create actions for any repeatable scenario related to new account creation and permission management. This business use cases for sales, accounting, administrative, and IT. And the wonderful thing is, Aaron is going to show you exactly how that's done on the ElectroNeek platform.
Exactly. Yeah. So as it's going to be a common sentence, this one, we're going to try to get it trending maybe on Twitter, but we've got a recipe for this. So let's. It's so user management again is one of those great use cases for automation. So an ElectroNeek bot can be triggered from a basic email that includes kind of new user information, and then create that user into different applications or systems, and setting the appropriate roles. So this helps to again free up resources as well as eliminate any errors in that that sort of process. So again, we've got a recipe for that. So. Again, this one is going to be specific to HubSpot. So again, you can create a bot that'll kind of create users in all sorts of different systems and applications. But this particular one's going to create a user account in HubSpot by checking emails created by a hiring manager. So a spreadsheet of those users will then be maintained as well, and an email will be sent out confirming the creation of those users. So let's go ahead and take a look at that bot running here. So again, we've got that email that has different email addresses, names, as well as what their permissions need to be set at. So the bot's going to go ahead, read that email, and then be able to process that information, opening up HubSpot as well to create those users. So we've got our status window open. It's going through, it's reading the emails, checking to see if it needs to do any processing on those. It's going to find the one that we had just shown, wrote to the Excel file to maintain that. Now it's logging into HubSpot using the credentials that we've provided. So from here, it's going to go through and click on the different elements to get to the place where we need to create users. With the information that we've extracted from the email, it's then going to input this information to create those users, first with their email address, and then set up the appropriate access levels or roles. There we go. So it's going to go through that process a few times. So I'm going to go ahead and jump a little bit forward because it's just going to do the same thing over and over again. So we're going to go to the next spot in there. There we go. So as you see, it's created a bunch of those users from the email. It's now sending the email indicating that to the hiring managers that, hey, all these users you've requested, they've now been created. As well, each of those individual users will get emails saying, hey, you're now invited to HubSpot as well. So there we go. So we have some of the different information is now they've been created and they've got an email indicating that they've been added. So that concludes that run video for that particular use case.
And remember, stay with us because we have another special one for you. Web scraping, e-commerce, and how much time can you save by automating the collection of web data? And the opportunity for this is web scraping collects the structured web data in an automated fashion, delivers results to virtually any format for you to use. And guess what our trending term is? We have a recipe for that.
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely, yeah, for sure. So yeah, web scraping. So there's with an ElectroNeek bot, there's a few different ways you can extract data from websites. It can either be done by highlighting and picking up information from a single element on a page, or it can extract entire search results in one go. This data can then be summarized in a report and then sent directly to those who need that information the most. So as we mentioned, we've got a recipe for that. So this will be our last sort of video recipe that we'll take a look. So we'll go through some of the other ones through there. But again, web scraping is a very important use case here. The particular bot we'll be viewing today is going to go through a list of book titles and then go to Amazon.com as well as BarnesandNoble.com and extract the prices from both of those sites and then input them into an Excel spreadsheet. So let's go ahead and view the video. All right, so once we've got the bot running here, we're going to be presented with the status indicator showing that the bot is currently running. It's going to be inputting URL or opening URLs to Amazon as well as BarnesandNoble.com, and then inputting those kind of books and search terms into the different search fields of Amazon as well as Barnes and Noble. And then it's going to extract that price information. So once it has that price information, it's going to input or update the Excel spreadsheet and then combine those two all together. Excuse me. So it's going to do this. This particular bot, it's going to do this about 10 times. So instead of watching the bot kind of do its work, let's jump ahead to later in the workflow once it's gathered or gone through the list of those 10 items. So now we're at the end. We're presented with a pricing input dialog where we can input an email address as to where the price comparison file will be sent to. So it's going to send that over email. It's going to use that email, send it out. We're going to be presented with a user notification saying, hey, the bot's finished. Email message with the created file has been sent out. And then basically at this point, you just go check your email and you should have that bot for the being processed and ready to go. There we have it. And now it contains that price information for each individual book in the email. So that concludes that bot demo, and we can move on to the next one.
Right. This next one is for those of you who want error-proof workflows, and it's how much time can you save by streamlining your tasks with RPA bots and create an error-proof workflow. And Aaron's going to dive into that, but one of the opportunities is how can you make sure that everything is correct? Automating that process for the specific formats like PDFs, and let the robots take the reins so you can focus on important projects and tasks. So you'll no longer have to worry about any unwanted files or halting the progress. Aaron, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, exactly. So in this particular scenario, let's say you have an ElectroNeek bot that needs to process a specific file type. So let's say, for example, a PDF, you only want to work with PDFs and not Word documents. You'd be able to, using the platform and various techniques, you only want to essentially process those PDF files if you try to process a Word document, they're going to end up with errors and it's not going to work out well. So for this particular use case, we do have a great recipe that kind of shows exactly how you can configure a bot to process only certain file types as part of our list of different recipes. So just going to go take a look, go back to our recipes, we'll do quick search here. It's very kind of file friendly. And again, we have that recipe on how to process specific file types for a directory. So here you'll be able to learn how to process only PDF files as opposed to TXT or text files. So again, it's another one of those that we have a great recipe for.
Now, the next opportunity is never to miss an email again. And the question is, do you want to accelerate your business operations with an RPA bot workflow that washes it out for all the important emails. And this opportunity that we have that wonderful term again, we have a recipe for that. So Aaron, this is really good for different types of business functions like administrative, finance, and accounting. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it touch bases on a lot of different scenarios and use cases and industries and that sort of thing. So, I mean, these days, a lot of information is provided and shared via email. So a bot can be triggered to do some actions when a specific email is received. And then again, we have a great recipe that shows you exactly how you can do that as well using an ElectroNeek bot. So let's go ahead and take a quick peek at that recipe here. There we go. Lots of different recipes for emails, but this particular one here would be able to show you how to create kind of that email trigger that you'll be able to use as part of a larger workflow and process shown here.
Now, if you want to get the most out of your XML data, you know what? We have a bot recipe bots for that. So it's being able to streamline and quickly access API results with this workflows and automations. So there's no more manually parsing through strings. So Aaron, talk to us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, often when you're making API calls to get more data, which, and as I should mention, an ElectroNeek bot, it does have the capabilities to make API calls to send and receive data. But sometimes that return data is going to be in an XML format. So manually parsing the data can be time consuming and be fairly complex depending on the data that you're receiving. So an ElectroNeek bot can then can also, as I said, make that API call, but it can also be easily set up to extract specific data that was returned from the API call to be used later in the workflow. So as well, as we mentioned before, we've got a recipe for that. So I'll show you it here. And we've got those step-by-step instructions on how you can kind of process and deal with work with XML data shown here. All right. So I think we're ready to go for the next one here, for the select
Wonderful.
Dynamic content on a website.
Exactly. And the opportunity for this is to be able to quickly and easily collect dynamic data from any site. And what makes this great is for many different business use cases, from data, purchasing, human resources, even IT and finance and accounting. So tell us, what is that phrase that we keep using, Aaron?
We've got a recipe for it. Absolutely, yeah. So definitely, yeah. So selecting dynamic content on a website. So essentially using data set in a variable. I know ElectroNeek bot can use that value to identify dynamic content on a website. So let's say, for example, a bot needs to select a specific month for a date field. The month can be set in a variable, and then the bot will be able to navigate and select the specified month. So it'll be able to detect, okay, I'm now on March. Let's click that date or select that date and then be able to use that dynamically. So as I said before, we've got a recipe for that. There we go. So again, in this particular use case, again, it's kind of using that same sort of scenario of selecting the month that's been set. So it's be able to set that in a variable and then use the bots able to detect and tell and navigate to that specific month in a date field. So that kind of shows you some of the techniques on how to be able to accomplish that in your bot. All right.
One of the most important things
is the next one.
To safeguard your data. And this ability for the ElectroNeek box to be able to do that. So Aaron, software bots can be deployed to back up all critical data across multiple machines, and we know that. So tell us more specifically, like, what can we do as an ElectroNeek platform for this essential bot?
Exactly. Yeah. So an ElectroNeek bot can be configured to back up, critical data from multiple machines, networks, and cloud services. That way, you can kind of do it all in one sort of go. So each individual service may have a way to back up that data, but then it requires a human or a user to constantly kind of go through those backup and recovery options. Whereas the ElectroNeek bot can be programmed or configured to kind of do that instead. As well, it can be easily customized and updated when you have new systems or services are added. So unfortunately for this one, we don't have a recipe yet for it, but it is something that we do plan on adding in the future coming up. And as I said, we showed you quite a number of different recipes. We are adding constantly to those recipes, constantly adding new ones as well.
Yeah, and that's very important for folks to know, is because now's the time to type in the comment section which bot and recipe you're excited about and you want to learn more about, because these are the 11 essential business bots that we know that are great for internal use cases. So go ahead and put in the comment section what bot or recipe that you really are excited about, you want to learn more about, because the next stage is here. And a lot of people want to know this, and that is Forrester's projected that the RPA related services will reach over $16 billion. And we want MSPs and IT service providers to be a part of that opportunity. That's why we've gathered the top 10 most in-demand customer use cases for you. And we're going to show that to you. So what I want you to do is take a screenshot of this next slide that we're going to share with you. And this is your opportunity to understand these are the business use cases that are the most in demand. We've researched, we understand this. This is what you can take and use and present these opportunities. So go ahead and take that screenshot. But I want Aaron to talk a little bit more about these use cases and let you know.
Absolutely, yeah. So as you mentioned, Kendall, this is a great set of use cases that can help not only their MSPs and IT service providers, clients, but also help them as well in a lot of their internal processes. Let's take, for example, the automated customer service. So if you look at our ElectroNeek ourselves, our customer support and our IT teams use ElectroNeek bots to help manage and prioritize support tickets. So even in some cases, you can even the bot could even take action depending on the content of that support ticket without needing a user to do anything. So while we don't necessarily have recipes for these exact scenarios, a lot of the ones that we just went through and a lot of the ones we have on our website do touch base on similar techniques that you can use to kind of accomplish these different processes. So they're definitely important, definitely powerful, and yeah, definitely.
Right. And thank you, Aaron, for that. Now, I talked earlier about a special offer, and that's going to be on this next slide here. We're going to share it with you. It's to be able to get this ebook now. And we're going to drop a link in the description section, the comment section below right now, because what this offers for you, it includes the questions you want to ask your customers. It has the ideal industries and the business functions and the applications that the bots work with. Now, go ahead and take a screenshot of this now, share it with your colleagues, or just share this video with them today, because this is your opportunity to understand exactly what these specific 21 essential bots that we've done research for you, that you can take this away with you. And I also have another special thing I want to tell you today. And ElectroNeek has, as you've seen, a cookbook full of what? Recipes. All right, so we have a recipe for that. And our support team will help you even build your first bot. And this is what we are here for. We want MSPs and IT service providers to succeed. And that's what we built the ElectroNeek platform for. And Aaron, what are some of the frequently asked questions do you hear from MSP business owners and IT service providers who want to know more about the ElectroNeek capabilities?
For sure, definitely, yeah. So, I mean, including when they talk about the capabilities, a lot of times there's specifically certain capabilities that they're looking for. Beyond that, a lot of the general questions we get are or kind of how quickly can a bot be built, and as well as is there a steep learning curve to building a bot, and generally what we say, it depends on the requirements, but it could be anywhere between a few hours to build a bot to maybe a couple days, but for something that to be able to create something that does kind of meaningful work and a meaningful process. As well as learning curve is very short. So as long as you generally have some tech savvy knowledge, you're able to kind of develop with our platform using our low code Studio Pro development environment. So definitely those are some of the common questions that we receive.
All right. Well, let's go ahead I'm going to show them something very special, because if they want to understand, and make sure you go ahead and put your questions now. But if you want to understand more about the ElectroNeek platform, and if you're interested in learning more about all these different recipes that we can show you, I want you to take a snapshot of this QR code. It's located on the screen, and you can book a demo with our account executives today. You can even talk eventually to Aaron, and making sure that we work through the challenge and opportunity that you have in your business and want to continue to succeed and move forward. Now, I want you to go ahead, take a good screenshot, or just go ahead and click that QR code so you are able to talk to one of our team members. And we're going to go to the Q&A session now. And we had a couple of people email us some questions, Aaron, and I'm going to toss those over to you, because you are the sales engineer.
I will try my best.
You'll try your best. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, I'm going to ask you this. Now, I want you to go ahead and put that screen back up there for everyone to go ahead and click that QR code right now. Now, the question is, you said that bots are easy to build and they're simple bots, but how long does it take to build a real bot that can do something legit? That's one of the questions we have.
For sure, definitely, yeah. I mean, it all depends on your, as I mentioned, your skill set and that sort of thing. But I mean, something where after a little while using the platform, you'll be able to literally build a bot within hours, if a day, sort of thing. So of work. So I've built fairly complex bots that's only taken me 4 or 5 hours and be able to accomplish. So it really depends on a lot of different factors, but generally it's not that far. You're not going to be spending weeks building a bot. You're going to be literally spending days building bots, as opposed to a long process. So and that's just a testament to the low code platform and the low code way of doing things.
Another question that I received is from this individual. Says that I mostly work with accounting firms. What's the best bot to sell them for tax season?
Yeah, so I think for accounting and like tax season, I mean, you're dealing with lots of documentation. So a lot of that document processing, that particular bot and what it can do and what it can enable, I think would come in handy for a lot of accounting firms, where you'd be able to pull in all those documents, read the data, and then put it into another system, a CRM, your accounting software, QuickBooks, whichever you've got there. And be able to do it seamlessly without having a user be involved in that process. So I think that's probably one of at least the first one that comes to mind when thinking about accounting and financials and that sort of thing.
Okay. Next question for you. Hopefully this is going to stump you. All right. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Can I mix ElectroNeek bots together? And what if they have their own automation already?
Yeah, definitely. So there are ways to call what we call subprograms in an ElectroNeek bot. So you'd be able to kind of split the bot up into certain sections and certain workflows itself, and then kind of put those all together in a more complex workflow. So there is that capability. If you have your automation as well, then ElectroNeek can probably work with that as well by kind of piggybacking or kind of finishing off different processes that maybe that particular automation can't continue on. So it's able to kind of pick up from where that automation leaves off, and then continue on to further more complex processing.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And of course, folks, go ahead and make sure that you grab the ebook, the 21 essential bots that we have available for you. We're going to place that in the comment section and the description section below. So make sure you have that book available for you right now, because you can share that with other individuals and it's going to be available for you. as we're looking at other questions. And so another question that we have, Aaron, is we're supporting electronics parts manufacturing and semiconductor manufacturing. Love to know if you have any specific manufacturing industry or cement manufacturing tools.
Definitely, that's a good question. I don't know enough about electronics manufacturing to maybe come up with the exact one, but I mean a lot of even those industries, like let's take a look for an example, like an onboarding or user management standpoint. I'm sure those industries you need to set up users with emails and different access to different systems to help them kind of work with their jobs. So an ElectroNeek bot could then be configured to say you have a new employee, and then they're able to give them all the different onboarding, set them up with the different systems and access rights without having to have HR or IT kind of go ahead and do that. So it's more of those internal processes that you can kind of work with and develop bots on to help kind of make your employees' lives easier and allow them to devote their resources to other tasks.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you, Aaron. And folks, if you have pricing questions or want to understand how the platform works with your business, go ahead and put in the scan that QR code. And so you can talk to one of our AEs and they can talk to you about the pricing and the different applications and what you can actually do. And of course, you want to have the ebook. So share that screen again with the ebook, Aaron, and Carolina, drop that URL inside of the comment section so people can get this ebook right now so they can review everything, because now's the time to be a part of the opportunity that's available for you. The opportunity to grow your MSP and your IT service provider business exactly how you want it, but building that recurring revenue. Now, for Aaron McCullough, my name is Kendall Matthews. We are ElectroNeek, and happy automation.
Definitely. Thanks, everyone.